Hello everyone, and my name is Hila, and today we're gonna read the Magic Tree of Merlin Mission Book 25, Shadows of the Shark. And we're gonna start reading at chapter 3, Attacked, and the end of reading at chapter 4, okay? And now, are you ready for read this one book with a lot of stories? And now, here we go. And first you can read is the Magic Tree of Merlin Mission Book 25, Shadows of the Shark. Started at chapter 3, Attack. Chapter 3, Attack. The underwater coral reef was huge, and the world around it was teeming with life. Seaweed waved in the gentle currents. Pink and orange coral branched in all directions, and hundreds of fish as colorful as jelly beans swam among the plants of a lazy coral. Jack saw the skinny fish, spiny fish, and flatfish. He saw the fish that looked like butterflies, porcupines, and the slimy stars. As he kept swimming and looking through his mask, he saw green turtles fleeting an angel. Jack saw sleek, skinny fish, spiny fish, flatfish. Wow, there's a lot of fishes, and there's a jellyfish, so it's a little bit dangerous. They need to be careful. He saw huge crabs, jellyfish, and even a stingray among wavy grasses. But nothing Jack saw scared him, and none of the creatures seemed afraid of him either. With his mask and flippers, Jack figured he looked like just another strange sea animal. A yellow striped fish stared directly up into his mask, and then looked to him at his eyes and stared up again. A school of tiny white fish swam over his body, tickling him like feathers. As he dripped around his reef, Jack saw orange starfish clustered over to the coral reefs, and tiny yellow sea horses bubbled near the coral branches. Annie would love those little horses, he thought. Annie! Jack had even having such a great time he had forgotten all about Annie. Treating water, he had a snarkle out of his mouth, lift his mask, and look around of her. The raft was far away. Offshore, a breeze had pushed into the far at the sea. Jack waved and shouted, Annie! Annie waved back. She paddled toward him. Your turn, said Jack, gasping. And when he reached into the raft, how is it? Said Annie, pulling off her tunic. Unbelievable, said Jack, climbing aboard. You're going to love it. He put his glasses back on and pulled in slippers. It's like a beautiful garden. Turtles, starfish, and look for tiny yellow seahorses around the coral. I can't wait, said Annie, cramming her feet into the flippers. Here, she handed the Jack and paddle. You've got to paddle pretty hard. The wind's pushing the raft. I noticed, said Jack. Swim toward the beach and you'll see the reef. I'll paddle after you. Then we'd head back to the shore. Good plan. Annie pulled onto the mast and then stuck to the snorkel in her mouth. Jack balanced the raft as Annie sat on the edge. Have fun, said Jack. The raft rocked Annie slide into the water. She started swimming back through the reef, and Jack tried to follow close behind her, but the current kept pushing the raft farther out to the sea. For a long time, he paddled hard just to stay in place. At one point, the current was too strong to the raft turning sideways. Jack struggled to turn it When he got the raft under control again, he looked back toward the reef area. He couldn't see any. The wave gotten higher and the sea steamed fast, and not nearly as safe and friendly. Jack looked in even direction. Finally, he saw something further out the sea. Can that be Annie's snorkel? Why would she swim so far out? He wondered. Jack, he turned around. Annie was bubbling wave not far at the raft. It was incredible, she shouted, holding up her mask. Totally incredible. Come on, get aboard, said Jack. We have to go back. The current was too strong, or maybe the wind. Whenever we have to get back. Something else was bothering Jack. Really bothered him. What was that thing I saw? He wondered. He turned and looked out to the sea again, and Jack froze in horror. That thing was sticking up to the water. Now it was closer, and he see what it was. It was fin, large fin. The fin was slicing swiftly out through the water and heading straight for them. Get on the raft, Jack screamed Annie. Hurry! He began to frantically paddle toward her, struggling against the current, and then he looked over his shoulder, and he saw the huge fin still jagging toward them. Hurry! Jack shrieked, and Annie flung herself toward the raft, quivering into the side. She gasped for an air. What's wrong? She sputtered. Why are you freaking out? Just get on board, he cried. Why? Don't ask. Get on or die, he yelled. And Annie clambered aboard. What's that? She asked, pulling on her mask and snorkeled. What did you see? And look behind us, Jack shouted. He was still struggling with the paddle, trying to point to the raft toward shore. Ah, shark! Annie cried. Jack, a shark! Oh, Jack and Annie saw the shark. And I know, said Jack. Let's go, go, cried Annie. I'm trying, said Jack. He looked over his shoulder. The shark fin moved toward them. Then he started to circle the raft. Sharks circle their prey before they attack, Jack remembered. Using all the strength, he tried to turn the raft and head back to the shore. But the wind waves were too strong. Where is it? Said Jack. Where did he go? With the waves rising, Jack couldn't see the shark fin either. Maybe it's gone, he said. Ah! Screamed Danny. The shark's huge head come from the sides of the raft and mouth wide open. Ah! Jack yelled without thinking. He raised his paddle and whacked into the giant shark on the nose. The shark reared up and dug his jackal with the wooden paddle, ripping off to Jack's head, and the creature sank back down to the sea. It was Finn glided away through the water. It's gone, said Annie. Not gone, cried Jack. Look! The shark had moved away from the raft, but it was circling them again. We need magic, Jack, shouted Annie. We have to use the gold coin. We can only use them to have fun, said Jack. You don't think it will be a fun to escape that shark? said Annie. She pulled into the green bubble purse and got the gold coins. And then she took out one of the 3 coins and held it up. The magic coin glittered to the crimson sunshine. We wish to have fun to escaping that shark, she shouted. She tossed the coin higher to the air, and then, like a tiny fireworks display, it burst into the shower of fiery red and blue sparks. The raft suddenly spun like a top, and then it shot out of a face to the large wave. Oh wait, I love to look at the sharks. Oh, I think this is the shark. Find the shark. I don't know where it is too, but the shark is hiding at the wave somewhere. Now, the raft crossed the wave, slide down to another side, and zoom farther out the sea. Ah! Said Jack and Annie, screaming. The raft crossed the wave and slid down to another side and soon farther out the sea. And another swell lifted the raft and then brought it down smoothly. And again, the raft shot across the surface into the water. And Jack and Annie held up each of another as he raft unrolled it over to the swell after another rising and dipping into the raft ham into the waves. The sea spray brushed them, and the salt water stole over to the sides, but magically Jack and Annie stayed aboard. It's like a bullet ride that Wade City on City Water Park, said Annie. It's like a water park ride, Jack thought, but he was still in the shock. Where did the shark go, he wondered. Are there other sharks? How will we get back without a paddle? I love this, shouted Annie, laughing. It was so much fun. Finally, the exhilaration ride overcame Jack's worries. As if they harnessed wind and current, raft had keep sliding up and down to the swells heading west. Seagulls followed it and the sharking overhead. The raft kept roller coasting across the sea, sliding up and down over more waves, moving with the great speed, and the raft seemed to know actually where to go. Hey, land! Is that land? Said Annie, pointing across the water. Jack saw rocky coastline with the chirp and white sand. Yes, yes, he shouted. It's a land! Now it's chapter 4. Where are we? I think Jack and Annie have lost. Now we're going to see that for tomorrow. And then we're going to start reading in chapter 4 and then reading in chapter 5. So we're going to be the very great stories. And I think we're going to meet more scary sharks. And now, bye-bye everybody. And please thumbs up my YouTube. Now have a nice day.